If you want to know how Giannis feels, look at what his actions were over the summer.
There were failed trade talks in August. There was a multi-week exclusive negotiating window for the New York Knicks.
Giannis Antetokounmpo expressed questions about the Bucks' ability to truly contend over the summer. As the two sides discussed a path forward, it became clear that there was another place that Giannis wanted to play outside of Milwaukee.
He's starting the season with the Milwaukee Bucks. He made that decision over the summer. It is very clear to the whole league that Giannis' situation in Milwaukee is probably short-term.
The Greek Freak just hit the nuclear button on his Milwaukee career, and this time there's no going back. Last night, Giannis Antetokounmpo scrubbed his social media accounts clean, deleting nearly every single post connected to the Bucks. The only things left standing were his 2021 championship celebration and a handful of NBA Cup moments, while everything else vanished like it never happened. Anyone who thinks that's just a coincidence hasn't been paying attention to how NBA players operate in 2024, because this is the digital age breakup, the way a superstar tells his team, his fans, and the entire league that he's done pretending everything's fine.
Sources tell me that Giannis Antetokounmpo and his agent Alex Saratas have started open conversations that are active right now with the Milwaukee Bucks about the realities of whether his future is best staying in Milwaukee or the realities of moving on elsewhere.
At the end of the day, I am a winner. I want to be a winner. Contracts, fame, status, comfort zone does not matter to me. What matters at the end of the day, it's where that thing right there. That's what matters. I don't want to be able to get stuck in this lifetime to keep on talking about the same story. Oh, we went to Game 6 in the NBA Finals, we won, we were down 2-0, we came back, won 4 games. I'm tired of hearing the same story over and over again. I feel like people get stuck.
Within hours of this social media massacre, Shams Charania dropped the confirmation everyone feared, revealing that Giannis and his agent are having active conversations with the Bucks about his future. Not casual talks, or maybe we'll revisit this later discussions, but active conversations happening right now today. The question isn't whether Giannis wants out anymore, it's where he's going and how soon it's happening. Most fans are just now realizing Giannis wants out, but the truth is he's been planning his escape since summer. Back in August, trade discussions were happening behind closed doors, the kind of conversations that never make it to Twitter, the kind of meetings where agents and general managers speak in code and test the waters without making waves.
This is a results-based business, a results-based situation. Giannis Antetokounmpo has made it clear he wants winning, and so the results have spoken for themselves, and if they keep trending this way, this is just the start for even more hard conversations to come, and also, like I keep saying, the inevitable writing on the wall, as one source told me today.
The New York Knicks got an exclusive negotiating window that lasted weeks, not days, which doesn't happen unless a player is serious about leaving. Giannis essentially told Milwaukee to let him see what New York could offer, and the Bucks, desperate to keep their franchise cornerstone happy, actually entertained it by making calls and listening to offers. Then something changed. Maybe Giannis got cold feet, maybe the Knicks couldn't put together the right package, or maybe he convinced himself he could give Milwaukee one more shot. Whatever happened, he pulled back and committed to playing out this season as a Buck, showing up to training camp, smiling for the cameras, doing all the right things, while everyone in Milwaukee exhaled. Except he wasn't staying, he was buying time, and now that time's up. Fast forward to October 28th, when Giannis had this massive moment against the Knicks at Madison Square Garden, dominating, blocking shots, talking trash, and after the game, he had this energy like Milwaukee is where I belong. Reporters asked about trade rumors, and he brushed them off, which shifted the narrative completely as national media started running stories about how Giannis shut down all trade talk. What a player says publicly and what they're telling their agent privately are two completely different conversations, though, and Giannis needed to calm the situation down so he could actually focus on basketball. He performed, put on the loyal superstar act, and everyone bought it. But the people who actually know how this league works never believed it for a second. What finally pushed Giannis over the edge was simple. The Bucks are terrible. Right now, Milwaukee is 9-13, which puts them 11th in the Eastern Conference. Not even in the play-in tournament picture when Giannis plays the Bucks are 9-8. Basically a 500 team. While without him on the court, they're 1-5, getting destroyed every night. This is supposed to be a contender, a team that reset over the summer after signing Miles Turner to be the missing piece. The front office hyped it up like they'd solved all their problems, promising Milwaukee fans that help was here. And then reality hit hard when the Bucks lost to the Washington Wizards, the 3-win Washington Wizards, the team that's actively tanking for draft picks. Jordan Poole cooked them, and the Wizards bench celebrated like they'd won the finals. Giannis stood there watching his team collapse around him, knowing he's dropping 30-plus points every single night, and it doesn't matter.
He's looking at a Milwaukee Bucks squad, and he's saying, this is an organization that drafted me, that believed in me, that has been very good to me. that helped me capture a championship because they got me the assets that I needed in the past. But since that time, I've gone to a semifinals, and other than that, I've been bounced out of the postseason, at least 2 times, 3 times. So that's what he's faced with now, and looking at what they're going to be able to do. A Cole Anthony is there, Miles Turner is there, a Kevin Porter Jr. is there, stuff like that. That's not going to win you championships.
What makes this situation even more frustrating for Giannis is that he's playing at an otherworldly level that we've barely seen in NBA history. Right now, Giannis is averaging 30.8 points per game on 63.9% shooting from the field. Most players can't hit 64% of their free throws, yet Giannis is hitting that percentage on actual field goal attempts, including contested layups, dunks in traffic, and mid-range jumpers. He's also pulling down 10.7 rebounds and dishing out 6.4 assists per game. Giannis is the only player in NBA history to average 30 points per game on 60% shooting, or better. Not LeBron, not Shaq, not Kareem, not Wilt Chamberlain, and this would be his 3rd consecutive season hitting those numbers. Imagine being that good and then watching your team lose 8 out of 10 games anyway. Every night, Giannis proves he's one of the most dominant forces the sport has ever seen, and every night it's not enough because the roster around him can't keep up. The supporting cast can't defend, can't hit open shots, can't execute down the stretch. Milwaukee has become completely broken since their championship run. The 2021 title was supposed to be the beginning of a dynasty that would launch the Bucks into sustained contention for the next 5 or 6 years. Instead, it's been complete collapse because since winning that championship, Milwaukee has won exactly 1 playoff series in 3 years. They've been bounced in the first round 3 straight times, and it's not like they lost to powerhouse teams, but to teams they should have beaten. The Bucks tried everything to fix it. They traded for Damian Lillard, thinking a second superstar would push them back into title contention, but Dame's defense has been a disaster. His age is showing, and his fit next to Giannis has been awkward at best. Then they signed Miles Turner, hoping his rim protection and 3-point shooting would solve their front court problems, but Turner's been inconsistent and the defense still isn't there. Milwaukee is stuck with the same core issues they've had for years, just with different role players making the same mistakes. Giannis has watched this organization cycle through coaches, rotate role players, make trades, and promise change for 3 straight years while nothing has changed. The front office keeps tweaking around the edges instead of making bold moves, and Giannis is sitting there thinking, this isn't it, this is never going to work. He's 29 years old, in the absolute peak of his powers, playing the best basketball of his entire career, and watching it all get wasted on a team that can't get out of the first round. He's made it clear over and over again that if we're not contending for championships, I'm not staying here just for the vibes. Where does Giannis go if Milwaukee finally pulls the trigger? That's the billion-dollar question that has every contender in the league working the phones right now. Any interested team needs to empty the vault with young all-stars, multiple future first-round picks, and salary-matching pieces. Start with the Knicks, since they've been lurking in the background all along. The framework would probably be built around Karl Anthony Towns, an all-star center who can score, rebound, and stretch the floor. Add either Mikal Bridges or OG Anunoby, both elite two-way wings who could immediately help the Bucks stay competitive, then throw in 3 or 4 unprotected first-round picks, maybe some pick swaps on top of that, and the Knicks would gut their roster and mortgage their future, but get Giannis, a legitimate franchise centerpiece who could turn Madison Square Garden into a championship destination overnight. The Warriors are desperate to maximize whatever is left of Steph Curry's prime. A 3-team trade involving the Lakers could work, with the Bucks getting Jonathan Kuminga, Austin Reeves, Moses Moody, and Dalton Knecht, plus 7 years of Lakers draft capital, including a 2030 unprotected first. The Warriors would get LeBron James to pair with Curry for one last championship push, and the Lakers would get Giannis to pair with Anthony Davis. It's chaotic, it's complicated, it's probably impossible to actually pull off because of salary cap logistics, but it's the kind of blockbuster that would break the internet. The Spurs package involves pairing Giannis with Victor Wembanyama, and imagine those two on the same team with the length, the athleticism, the defensive potential that would be unlike anything the league has ever seen. San Antonio would offer Milwaukee 2 recent lottery picks in Dylan Harper and Stephon Castle, plus either Devin Vassell or Keldon Johnson for salary matching, and multiple future first-round picks through 2031. The Spurs are currently 4th in the Western Conference with the young roster, and adding Giannis would immediately make them championship contenders. But here's the problem. Wembanyama is 20 years old and going to be a superstar for the next 15 years, so why rush it? Why trade away all your assets when you could just let this team grow naturally? All these trade packages are just speculation until Milwaukee actually decides to pull the trigger, and that decision falls on general manager John Horst. This is his mess to clean up because Horst is the guy who built this roster, made the Lillard trade, signed Miles Turner, and convinced everyone that this team could contend. Now it's blowing up in his face. The pressure is entirely on him now, because if he refuses to trade Giannis and this drags out, it gets ugly. Giannis could demand out publicly, could stop playing hard, or worse, he could walk in free agency and Milwaukee gets nothing in return. This time feels different from all the other trade rumors because Giannis has always been careful with his words, always played the diplomat. Those days are over though, and the social media purge wasn't subtle, but a public statement. Once a player crosses that line, there's no going back, and Milwaukee can't smooth this over with a press conference or a players-only meeting. The trust is broken, the relationship is fractured, and the only way forward is a trade. The NBA trade deadline is in February when everything comes to a head. Every day that passes, the pressure builds while other teams circle, fans speculate, and Giannis watches his legacy slip away with every loss. He's already a champion, already a two-time MVP, but if he stays in Milwaukee and wastes the rest of his prime on a mediocre team, that's how he'll be remembered as the superstar who was loyal to a fault. That's not the legacy Giannis wants. Every contending team in the league is preparing their pitch right now, running salary cap scenarios, calling Milwaukee to gauge interest. Landing Giannis doesn't just change your team, but changes the entire landscape of the NBA because whoever gets him instantly becomes the favorite in their conference. That's the kind of move that defines careers for general managers and coaches, the kind of trade that gets talked about for decades. Milwaukee faces the nightmare scenario of losing their franchise player and getting less than full value because everyone knows Giannis wants out. The Greek Freak's time in Milwaukee is ending, and it's not a question of if anymore, but only a question of when and where. When that trade gets announced, the entire basketball world is going to lose its mind because this isn't just another star changing teams, but a generational talent in his prime deciding his own destiny. Wherever Giannis lands, that team is instantly the biggest threat to win the championship. February is coming, and the Giannis Antetokounmpo era in Milwaukee is about to become history.